So when it comes to it, proteins are actually essential for your body. So you need to have proteins in your diet for your body to function properly. Now, most people think that proteins are all about muscle repair. Well, if I eat too much protein, I'm going to get big and muscular, which is not necessarily the case. Now, as a nutrition company, what we will do for someone who comes to us who wants to bulk up is we will actually lower their protein and increase their carbohydrates, because carbohydrates will help to fill the muscles out. Protein helps to repair the muscle, whereas your carbohydrates helps to fill the muscle, which is always quite a aha moment for some people, or a blow of the mind sort of part, because they've always heard that proteins is what you eat to get big and bulky. It's not necessarily the case. So when we look at proteins, they actually help every enzymatic process in your body to happen. So what that means is that if we are low on protein, or we're not eating enough protein, your body starts to slow down its processes, which means you're not getting enough energy, or you're not getting the energy that your body needs to do the things that it needs to do, which is why protein is probably, in my opinion, the most important macronutrient that we have. Especially now that you guys are training, you need to make sure that you're getting enough proteins in, which we'll talk about in a sec. So proteins are also good for making hormones and other important chemicals within your body. They're an important building block for your bones, for your muscles, for your cartilage, for your skin, for your hair, and your blood. So if people have like weak nails, like brittle nails, or weak hair, they've got skin issues going on, and they've got achy joints or achy bones or brittle bones where they're breaking all the time, they've got blood issues, what we will do is we'll look at their protein amounts and where their protein source is coming from, because where you get your sources of proteins from is also very important. So what I'd like for you guys to do now is throw some of the proteins at me that you guys are eating, or what are proteins? Where do proteins come from? You can type it, or you can unmute yourself and yell it out. Don't all yell it at once. Meat. Chickpeas, eggs, meat. Good stuff. Yeah, so it's pretty much coming from pea and rice protein. Yeah, so what we'll typically find is it comes from tuna, egg, chicken, salmon, meat, green leafy veggies, not so much, Tanya. So when it comes to it, we're typically looking at any products from an animal, whether it be the meat of the animal, from even like things like milk. You also get protein from eggs. You'll get protein. For those who are vegan or vegetarian, then we're looking for a plant-based option. And in that options, we'd probably be going for something like chickpeas, lentils, beans, tofus, tempehs, and all those sides of things if you take them on as well. Now, there is a whole heap of a new range of fake meats that are coming out. And I mean, if you like them, then go for it. I wouldn't necessarily think that they are the best, because they are processed. And we'll talk about that a lot tonight, is a food hierarchy. And what I mean by that is that if I've got let's say, for instance, a piece of banana, that's going to be better than eating a slice of banana bread. And that's a really easy thing to understand. Okay. So the food hierarchy being that banana in its most natural form is the best stage of that food that we can get. Whereas when we process it and go through all of these different things, it tends to be a worse option. Now, that's not always, say for instance, like if you want to activate some nuts, you can put them in some water and it will activate or sprout the nutrients from that. Now, that's not necessarily going through a processing. What I'm saying by processing is that it's being beaten down, broken up, changed from its original form. So that's what we're talking about there. So that's where the food hierarchy is really important, and understanding that can make a big difference as to what type of food you're eating. So if you're to go to Woolies to get some meat, and you've got the choice of grabbing a protein filled steak, just a steak that's straight from the cow, or you go to the deli section and there's a piece of ham that's a round little object and it looks like it's got some other things in there, you're more likely to get a better protein source from your steak than you are to get from that ham, like the round up, smashed up versions that they have. So hopefully that makes sense